so many good and faithful souls, so many good and faithful people have gathered at this holy place to pray. You do so much for one another. You do so much for many others who will hear of your sacrifice and your prayers today. You have chosen to step out of your busy daily schedules and your lives and to pause. You pause to gather with other believers. You pause to offer prayers for the needs of others. You pause to offer, to bring petitions for your own needs, for your own healing, your guidance, your comfort, for your own physical, psychological, and spiritual needs. You have come to avail yourself of the holy mysteries made available this day, particularly the cleansing and forgiveness through a holy confession and through the Holy Eucharist which you receive this day. We gather at this sacred place at this magnificent church on this magnificent day in Centralia, in our church dedicated to the mission of the Mother of God. An article in the National Catholic Register on August 21st headed its article with this interesting title. It said, "The Strange Case of the Pilgrimage Site in the Pennsylvania Ghost Town." It related how the church was found to have been constructed on solid rock and that it was not susceptible to the mine fires underground. And you know what? It says something loudly for us today in this day and age. It speaks loudly of the special hand of God at the very beginnings of this parish. God, knowing all things, enabled this church to be built on solid rock. It recalls for me Jesus' own words when naming Simon the apostle as Peter, meaning the rock. Upon Peter and the early disciples grew the faith and the church of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The church, this church, speaks loudly to the rock of faith of the Blessed Mother, who reveals to you and to me how each of us live faithfully to the teachings of Jesus Christ. She is the rock upon which the church is built. It is upon the faith and love of the early pioneers through whom God acted, which guided them to build this church on this holy mountain. Now the media and others might think this is strange, but God acts in His own ways through His people who love and serve Him. And you and I are reminded that it is God who acts. It is not strange for us to behold that. We included this church in the schedule of the parishes that were visited by our spiritual head of our church, Patriarch Stephan. And when he learned of some of the special and unique characteristics of the parish and his testimony to the world, he paused, he reflected, he prayed here. He rejoiced at hearing that the parish nurtured 4 priests and 3 religious sisters. One priest responded to God's call to work amidst indigenous people in Brazil. Patriarch Stephan prayed and kissed the holy icon of Our Lady of Cochayo, depicting the Mother of God interceding for people and Ukraine by protecting them from the onslaught of an enemy in very strange ways. It was evident that there's something more here. The Patriarch seemed to be overtaken by something. And then he spoke of a special grace evident at this holy site, and he agreed to give favorable consideration for this parish to become a site for an annual pilgrimage to the Mother of God. Our Patriarch desired that our clergy, our religious, our faithful gather and ponder on the mysteries of the Lord, especially the manner in which He interceded to the Mother of God. There is a great symbolism here in all that we have done and do. Even to make the effort to ascend to the church, to bring worship to our Blessed Mother on the occasion of this feast day of the Assumption to heaven. There has been some sacrifice in arriving here. Just like the early pioneers, great sacrifice when they arrived here and built this church. Sacrifices are made ever since and today by you. All of us search for something in our spiritual journey, in our day-to-day life. We cannot grasp, we don't really know what it is that will make us really happy and content. We're in need of something, we're searching. You and I have come because our hope in Mary, the Mother of God, shows us the way to Jesus Christ. She breathes for you and for me an air of hope. Mary helps us to live a hope-filled life. But so much we need that today in our society. Hope-filled life. Mary helps us to live a life filled with gratitude. Her life and continuous surrender to God's way inspires us to imitate her. We learn how to live a hope-filled and grateful life in the way Mary guides us, to be servants to others. Mary models a way of life which guides us how to endure hardships in day-to-day life. And who is without hardships? Mary teaches us how to pray and to trust in God, to trust in God's ways, which may be very different from what we would want to tell God to do. The life of Mary speaks loudly of service to others. Her spirit of service to others is revealed when the angel Gabriel announced that she was to be the mother of Jesus. Mary's answer was short and to the point. She merely just said, I am the handmaiden of the Lord. May it be done to me according to your word. That spirit of service revealed when she was revealed again when she went to her cousin Elizabeth in her time of pregnancy. She was pregnant herself. Mary went to help her cousin. And the same spirit of service was evident at the wedding at Cana when Mary asked help from Jesus for the young married couple. Someone wisely said, my life turned around when I stopped asking God to do things for me, and I asked God what I could do for Him. It is this kind of service in Mary which inspires you and me to try and serve as she did. When we serve others in life, we ourselves derive much hope and meaningfulness in life. God speaks to us when we serve others. We have an encounter with a living Christ, as Mother Teresa, blessed saintly Mother Teresa always said. Mary teaches us this in her actions of trust in God. And we see suffering throughout the earthly life of our Blessed Mother. Mary's suffering began before Jesus was born. She and Joseph had to sneak into Egypt to escape Jesus' enemies. And when it continued, when she and Joseph took the child to the temple, there the Holy Simeon said of Jesus, behold, this child is destined for the fall and rise of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be contradicted. And then he turns to Mary and says, and sorrow like a sharp sword will break your own heart. Suffering continued in Mary's life. When in later years she saw the opposition grow against Jesus. And finally her suffering reached a peak when she stood beneath the crucified body of her son as he was hanging from the cross. Always trusting in God's ways. Mary bore her suffering with courage and with patience. She is a source of inspiration for you and for me. She inspires to bear our daily sufferings as courageously and as patiently as she did. In prayer, we offer our sufferings, large or small, to the Lord. We ask our Blessed Mother to help us to endure them. And she shows us to trust in God's ways. A breath of hope overtakes us as we share our hardships into the loving heart and comforting hands of our Blessed Mother. We are able to endure as Mary comforts us. She understands. We know that we are not alone as we place our hardships at the feet of Jesus, guided by our Blessed Mother. What is particularly inspiring in Mary's earthly life is her spirit of deep and humble prayerfulness. This becomes evident without much wordiness, with little dialogue. Mary's life revealed a powerful presence of prayer and trust in God. Search throughout the Gospels, and you will rarely find a time when Mary is speaking. Whatever the circumstances, we are told that Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Mary stood quietly at the foot of the cross, despite much pain and anguish. She was present with the apostles also during that exciting time of the appearances of the risen Lord. Whenever the Gospels do record Mary's words, they are words of praise offered to God for the blessing that she had bestowed upon her. Recall Mary's own words to her cousin Elizabeth. My soul proclaims the greatness of the Lord. My spirit exalts in God my Savior, because he has looked upon his lowly handmaid. Humility before God and others. Immense gratitude for God's giftedness to her. Humility and gratitude are two of the most precious ingredients to a life filled with hope in Jesus Christ. You want to be happy? You want to be content? Cultivate humility and gratitude in your life, and leave the rest in the hands of God. Mary reveals a life filled with hope. Hope in Jesus Christ. Her life oriented entirely to the service of others gives meaning to a hope-filled life. Her ways of embracing hardships in life helps us to surrender and trust in the Lord as we cope with our daily struggles. Her humility, her gratitude, revealed in her complete surrender to God, inspires you and me to simple and trusting prayer in God. Mary, the Mother of God, is the hope of all of us as Christians. You and I are doing the most powerful thing we can do this day. We have gathered as a community of prayer, a people of faith. We are being present to one another in prayer. We are reflecting on God's presence amidst us. And it is the Blessed Mother in her first feast day of her mission which gathers us. Mary reveals to us a life filled with hope in Jesus Christ. I want to take the opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude of all of us and mine gathered here today to the very Reverend Archbishop Michael Hutsko, the pastor of the Ukrainian Catholic Church of the Assumption of the Mother of God in Centralia, for his very immediate, reverential, and inspirational response in organizing this founding pilgrimage at this holy parish in Mountain. He generously emulates the hope-filled qualities of the Mother of God of which I spoke earlier. Father Hutsko quickly inspired others of the parish and deanery to join him in surrendering to something beyond themselves, beyond even what normally might be something we would expect to occur. Others of the parish quickly came to be inspired by the hope-filled vision for a pilgrimage. Many of the parishioners and others gave generously of their time and dedicated work to plan and facilitate this holy pilgrimage at this holy church built on solid rock of faith on this inspiring mountain. Words cannot adequately express our heartfelt gratitude to all of you, Father Michael Hutsko, to all the organizing committee for this pilgrimage. Our humble prayers of gratitude are offered for your needs. And perhaps that is what the reporter referred to in his article, what he saw as strange. There are occurrences here which are beyond what is normally anticipated, even among dedicated clergy and faithful. We go beyond ourselves. God's finger is apparent amidst us in his ways. God stirring the hearts and minds to know him, to renew our faith in him, to invite others to come to build their faith in a community which has its faith resting on the rock of faith. We have also come to walk through the designated door of mercy, to reflect on our day-to-day life and how we live our faith. We are challenged to be more merciful with others and with ourselves, recognizing, as Pope Francis said so beautifully, that we all in the church are sinners, and that we are assisting one another to salvation. So may your walk through that door, the transition that happens in you through the door of mercy, inspire you to be more merciful with others, less judgmental of others' actions or intentions. We are a veneration of the holy icon of Our Lady of the Child. Help us to humble ourselves before the Lord, recognizing the many ways that God helps us through our challenges, especially when we've asked for the intercession of the Mother of God with her Son Jesus. God is present to us, and He is present with us. God does act, but He often acts in unexpected and not necessarily how we might like Him to act. God doesn't jump through hoops that we set up. He has His ways, but God acts. God is acting in special ways here with all of you today at this pilgrimage, to each and every one of you, and to us as a community of faith. Be at peace and allow Him to stir your hearts and minds to respond in His ways beyond what you might expect of yourself. Let go. Let go of yourself, your restrictions, your barriers. We are grateful for the priests who assisted with this pilgrimage, particularly Father Baruch, who gave the homily earlier, and those who offered holy confessions. We are grateful for the participation of our seminarians from St. Joseph at Ukrainian Catholic Seminary, who have helped in our singing, but I don't think you needed help. You sang so beautifully, such a grace earlier at the liturgy to hear the whole church singing. And your altar assistants are acquiring themselves the beautiful voices those young children cultivate. We thank all the people who come from far, the Holy Family, the Ukrainian Catholic National Shrine, or the Holy Family in Washington, D.C., so many other places, traveling a great distance to be here. We are grateful to all who have participated in this holy pilgrimage from close and far, making your personal sacrifices to seek the Lord with the intercession of the Mother of God. Thank you for coming. Your surrender to a journey of faith gives hope and meaning to each of us who participate, who have shared this holy pilgrimage journey. Choose, my brothers and sisters in Christ, to emulate the Mother of God by being hope-filled people in all the ways that you are. In everything you do, everything you say, get yourself in how you talk and answer to others. Be a person of hope. Surrender yourself to the service of others. Enduring your sufferings and hardships with patience. Responding to challenges with courage. And humbly bowing to our Lord in prayer and with trust in God's grace. Know that I love you, I pray for you, I ask for your prayers for me. God bless you richly in ways only He can. And in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Slava Jesus Christus.